Watermelon versus Pumpkin.
The intro played. You heard it. Welcome to the Watermelon versus Pumpkin podcast on the Just Baked Channel.
This is that channel, man. We do all kinds of things, and we say all kinds of stuff.
And first we go, Alexa, set the alarm for 35 minutes.
That bitch.
Countdown. Today, we're going to cover a deep topic.
Soil.
Between two cheeks.
Between two spherical objects that compress the truth to a shoestring-like apparatus.
Realizing immediately that I don't know the year that it came out, but there is a classic song that I'm going to look up what year it came out, even though I watched a documentary on it.
Can I take a guess before you find it?
Please do.
I'm going to say 99, I think I heard.
Might have been 99.
I think I'm 99.
We watched an entire documentary that Vice put out about the Thong song by Cisco.
Thong, 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 thong. Okay, right on. Yes. If you know, then you know. If you don't know, do yourself a favor and look up the Thong, Thong, Thong song. And you're probably like, thong is a thong. But you got to remember, at the time, it was groundbreaking of what it was.
Released 1999.
99.
Off the album, Unleash the Dragon.
Unleash the Dragon.
I really want to unleash the dragon.
I think I remember this album being on Columbia House. Not
been.
the records, but the Columbia House where you were able to get 30 CDs for $1. If you know, you know, nigga.
Because these days, talking about the normal everyday of what's happening in life just is not interesting to us. So we're trying to dive down some avenues. And
I mean, it's interesting but depressing.
Exactly. Yeah. That is true. That's a better way to put it.
Yeah,
it's interesting, but it's
just like, oh, nigga, deflate the balloon. Let's go back to entertainment.
You've been there. You live in that. So, hey, let's try to give you an escape. And the escape that we went to was going through the internet. On YouTube, this documentary about the Thong song, about 18 or 19-minute documentary. Revealing things, opening eyes,
opening thongs, booty cheeks,
opening cheeks, and putting the stripe down.
So the group was Drew Hill was the original group
that Cisco was in.
Cisco was the lead vocalist in that group. So it kind of started off with him giving the backstory of himself and how he started out, which was to me phenomenal of knowing that how fucking young he was, because I didn't know that back then. I didn't really pay attention to a lot of bios, sometimes, you know what I'm saying? I think it happens a lot sometimes. You kind of get into it, it's like, I'm either into them or I'm not. You know what I mean? If you get deep down that rabbit hole, you can start getting into the bio and you become a fanatic, get crazy. Like, look, did you know his favorite food is spaghetti? Did you know that? You know what I mean? Like, No, I didn't, but I guess I just really never paid attention to the fact that he was like fucking 17 when he first got signed,
Super young.
Yeah, he started packing fudge first. And
True.
True story. That wasn't a pun. It wasn't a diss. He was a fudge packer for, I think he said, like 3 years he made fudge.
He even called himself a Keebler elf.
He called himself a Keebler elf. 14 to 17, I believe, was the age group where he was at the fudge factory. At 17, they had him. This was back in the day now. This is how they did it back in the day. Found talent. They brought him to these executives, and they had them fucking show their talent right now. Go. You know what I mean? And it's just like you belted your ass off, or you sang, or you rapped, whatever you did, you showed it. And you had to wow these people in the room, you know what I'm saying?
And it's got to be comforting to know that back then nobody had camera phones like that. So he said that because at the job they were singing as well. I guess it was some type of service thing where people come in to get the fudge, almost like a
tip.
Cold Stone Creamery.
Yep.
Throw the tip and they got to sing a dumb song.
A stupid song, right? But they were like, wow, these kids can fucking sing. So I think everybody in the fudge shop, him and his boys that would work there, that they were, them niggas was belting. So he said, look, we need the fudge boys to come down.
The Fabulous Four Fudge.
Fabulous Four Fudge to come down and belt for this executive down at Def Jam. And they did it, man. And they said, we want him. You know what I mean? 17 years old that guy was, man. Drew Hill had some joints. Look him up. DRU Hill.
Cisco was saying I noticed that he added the word official, but he said every official release that they put out went platinum or better. And I think that's single wise, but still, that's a hell of a record,
Right. And they had some joints, man. And I guess Woody, I think he said was shout out to Woody was the name of the guy from the actual the band of Drew Hill, who said, "Nah, I don't want to do it." He didn't really elaborate why.
Yeah, they chose not to dive into that, but there's a whole lot more to that.
Right, Woody's exit. That's we're gonna call the name of that book, that documentary, probably.
And Cisco didn't say his name, right? One of the other people said it, or was it Cisco?
It was Cisco.
Okay.
He said Woody, because he said when Woody left, he said, we said, well, while Woody's trying to figure out what he's trying to do, in the meantime, I'm gonna go solo. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Which we think was probably, I don't know, maybe the initial plan.
That's a nice way of saying it. That's just a nice way of putting it to where
I was gonna go dolo anyways, nigga.
Who knows? Yeah. You never know.
Because he remember at the time too, he was like for the R&B singer, motherfuckers wasn't doing blonde and platinum hair. Like his hair was silver platinum, man.
Oh, he was out there.
Yeah, nobody was doing that at that time like that. Where like oh, what's going on here, man? This guy's like a silver surfer and shit, wearing like weird leather and shit,
Back in the day too, there always was that one person of a group though, like because that was a big even. Man, you got to think, even back in wrestling back then, in all types of entertainment, there was always a group. Like there was DX, there was the Nation of Domination, there was the Heart Foundation. There was always a group. And
Road
same
Warriors.
shit with the R&B shit. There was always factions and there was groups. And within those groups, whether it was NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Drew Hill, all the groups that had Boys to Men, there was always that one different looking person to where they would stand out and you'd be like,
right.
They're not even necessarily the lead, but they're just...
It's so different that it pulls them out.
Yeah.
Busta Rhymes was like that with Leaders of the New School. It's kind of like, I remember Leaders of the New School, and but Busta Rhymes, he was different. He wore the crazy shit. He had the crazy dreads. His voice, he was animated. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like, yeah, he stuck out. So to the point where it almost becomes a demand for them to go solos.
Yeah.
Like, no, nigga, we need you. We need more of just you.
We just want to see you. Yeah.
No disrespect to anybody else, but we really like you. So Cisco knew that. I think maybe, I don't know, but he presented it, like you said, in a respectful way. Like, yeah, I just said, hey guys, I'm going to do my thing solo until Woody comes back.
Yeah.
Maybe Woody never came back.
He said in the meanwhile, he said, while Woody finds out what he wants to do, I'm going to just do this solo shit real quick. So I'm going to do this. And then, hey, maybe Woody will be down to come back and we'll come back as Drew Hill. But ask Beyonce if you ever get back together.
Kelly, no.
For real. Oh, we I might let you on the Super Bowl. Oh, we might do one song but you know what? You bitches on your own.
Right. Kelly Rowland was the only one. But I think Michelle tried to come out with, did she try to go solo too? I think.
Oh, I think they all had albums, there's a difference between,
Beyonce and the rest, yeah. It's like she was the reason why.
And once the toothpaste is out of the tube, once the genie is out the bottle, shout out to Christina Aguilera, it doesn't go back. Like, people don't even know that Gwen Stefani had a band. There's a group called No Doubt that Gwen Stefani was the leader of, and then she saw that solo money and went, oh, I can get anyone to play guitar.
Right.
You know what I'm
Fucking
saying?
this guy too, what's his name? The guy that does that show with her, Adam Levine, right? He was from Maroon 5, right? And it's like he's like the lead of that, right?
He's the singer,
Oh yeah. So I thought he was like the lead of that. So it's kind of like, but he's like his solo career is like where he's at right now. I forgot that. Oh no, you are Maroon 5, right? Okay. I don't know, niggas. Like you branched off now. You're known as being the heartthrob for the shows and your solo album.
It's the same with anything. Once you go solo, it's just not coming back. Fucking when Justin Timberlake went solo, NSYNC just doesn't exist anymore at that point.
Right.
It just doesn't happen. So
so it's tough to keep a group together, man.
Yeah.
When you think about it, it's got to be an understanding, man. Like if you're not the fucking lead, you got to really kind of take that and know that that's what it is. And I think people, a lot of those guys, they did at first, but then they get tired of it. Oh, this nigga gets all of this or that. He get all of this. He get all of that. You know what I mean? I was like the favorite kid in class. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, of course the teacher's pet. Here he comes. He gets the fucking, favorite straw every day.
And if you go solo and it works, the money is different.
Right.
There's none of that 4 or 5 way split. It's like, oh, I get it all.
Right. And then hearing him talk and you could tell he had like that more creative thought process of, and who knows, the other guys, I don't know them like that in the group, but they might have been just more, man, we just R&B smooth, conservative, with traditional R&B artists. You know what I mean? So he might have had a bunch of ideas of like, nah, Cisco, we not all want to paint our hair silver. You know what I'm saying? We are not going to wear this leather outfit shit you want us to wear to match you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey,
it'll be dope.
When Andre 3000 had on football pads and a fucking blonde wig, you know, Big Boy was still over there in the silk suit trying not to sweat. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to when he had the fucking furry pants that he had in Dragnet. The little fucking furry, like, you know, he was in the fucking native campground.
That shit is beautiful. Doing the rain dance. Yeah, but like you said, there's some cats that are like, listen, I'm not about to jump all the way out there. The Locks famously were like, dude, these shiny suits are killing me. You know what I mean? Like,
we're not doing that.
They would put it on, but you know, I'm gonna put it on, but I ain't zipping it up.
Right.
You know, I'm not gonna zip it up.
But at
though.
that point, it's like, what are we doing? You know, and that when they think like, yo, we jeans and hoodies, man. This shiny shit is
boy flies and boots.
Right. You know, that was like Diddy's way of trying to get back to the streets. Let me get to the streets, get these street niggas, and put them in suits. Right, streets to suits. That's what I do. And street niggas like, no, we kind of like where we at in the streets with the love. We gonna stick there. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where they stayed, actually. But career wise.
Oh yeah, this is one of the things too that's interesting and happens often in every story you hear. Not every story, but in a lot of stories you hear about people making albums. Is it starts off with the album was done, and then we just wanted to see what else people had. You know what I'm saying? It was the album was done, then. Like the dragon was ready to be unleashed, and then we were just like, you know what? Let's check in with a couple of different cats, see what you guys got. Let's leash the dragon back up. Let's put the collar back on the dragon,
wrap him up real quick,
and
that will unleash him later.
They said, "Hey, we're just gonna check around." So they went to these producers.
Yep.
And I don't even remember the name. I don't know if they had a group.
The two producers, they were just two regular names.
Yeah.
I think one was Kevin. And I forgot the other guy.
Might have been Mitchell, something like that. But these cats make beats, you know what I mean? All that.
Right.
And
they gave a little rundown of who they worked with. They were at that time they were working with all the names of the 90s R&B scene. Everybody there named I think 112 was in there. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that was at that time was popping.
They were the go-to for the R&B joints.
Right.
And what they were doing in their meantime is they heard that Michael Jackson was working on something, so they were making beats for Mike as well. And the whole story sounds good, and if this is the truth, this is the truth, and I'm not mad about it. But what they say is there was this one track that they were making, and the dude made the Thong song beat in front of us on the documentary, which was dope.
Right.
He said that beat was accidentally put on the DAT tape that they gave to Cisco, but the beat was made for Michael Jackson.
Right. And he said it had just so happened was when they went to, because this was back in the day when producers did this, you had the CD or whatever, they came, you sat down, popped the CD in, played, this is what I, burnt down and ripped down on a CD for you to check out which one you like. And the first one on the fucking CD, which wasn't supposed to be for him, was up there. It was that one. And he said he tried to do it was just, he said, Cisco back, no. Play that one again, man.
Yeah, play that first one.
Play that first one.
Because he was also saying, too, everything else that was on the beat tape was the R&B stuff that they were expecting from Cisco, which was, and from Drew Hill, they went in the same vein of just like, yo, these are the slow beat,
the R&B
yo, gotta make the joints for the ladies.
Right,
it was that type of stuff.
But it was like, we, got to get that hit off that joint, which, so then they came down to, he created the beat, and I guess when he said, let me get this. He said he told him, actually, be honest with you, man. That was a mistake. That's actually for Mike. We got a picture for Mike, and he was like, he said, but on the way, he said he called him as he was on his way flying back. He called him when he flew back to Atlanta or whatever. He called him, was like, yo, man, go whatever I gotta do, man. I want that joint. He was like, yo, he wouldn't stop. But he was like, yo, he said, when an artist is that hungry for it, he said, yo, I'm going to jump back on the plane as soon as I get off. If you tell me I can have it, I'm getting off this plane, and I'm coming right back to get it right now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, you wanted that bad? You know what I mean? It's like, and that was like out of their comfort zone of what they made. You know what I mean? Like, they tried something different. You know what I'm saying? It's like, let's try something different for Mike, something, edgy.
Experimental, something out there. And I like what the brother was saying as well, to where, like you're saying, if you want it that bad, then there's something else going on here. You know what I mean? So we might just have to go with the flow here of hey, you might know something I don't know, and
because it either turns into the greatest thing or like, man, shit, damn, we should have given it to Mike.
You wasted that joint, damn.
Mike would have tore that shit up.
And one of the big problems with the beat too, just like many rap and R&B in that genre, is they sampled the Beatles, which is the worst thing you can ever fucking do because they're gonna come and get their money.
Right. They bought that one.
Yeah.
They bought that Beatles. Or is that the one that they redid?
Well, that's what I was going into,
Okay,
is that what you can do apparently in the music industry is if somebody replays it in a different way, but it's close enough, but it's different enough, you can kind of circumvent that.
And hence the Vanilla Ice Baby, which they took from
His David Bowie Under Pressure, but his best explanation ever was the Vanilla Ice when he said, no. See, mine goes, and his goes,
right.
Yeah, okay.
You see the difference? Like,
Yep.
No, one little sound prevented them from getting sued. So I guess Cisco hired the guy.
Bruce. And you know what? The crazy thing too, how I'm saying like how the universe goes together. First, I love the name Bruce. This gentleman's name was Bruce Dukoff, right?
That's just fucking epic.
Now me, I deliver packages for a living, for a company, and when sometimes I have to go into buildings, sometimes I have to sign in at the buildings. I sign in as Bruce Duke for every time I sign into the building. So then I'm watching this documentary and this dude's name is Bruce Dukoff, and I'm like, yo, it was meant to be. Show me a sign, got a sign,
Bruce Duke should be the new nickname. That's got to be the new alias for now on, is Bruce Duke in the building.
Exactly. Because it sounds good. There's a lot of lip service there with the but and the duh and the feels good. But so they hire this violin player because Cisco was saying, man, he saw all right, this is amazing, but we could take it somewhere else. So he hired Bruce Duke, who had played on Bruce Dukoff, who had played on Frank Sinatra shit, different
Star Wars, he did a bunch.
Yeah. He was out there with it. He was, the dude when it came to playing.
You want violins? This is your guy.
And what they were saying is Cisco told him like, no, I want you to play something like, and then he hummed it, and then Bruce just, oh, you mean like this? Murdered the game. Exactly.
Like, damn, nigga, yeah, like that.
And then we need something behind it with a dun, and say, oh, you mean like dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Yep, like that.
When he was showing that, and I was like, he goes, yeah, so it's like that. Dun, dun, dun. I'm like, what part is that? And then when he went over it, I'm like, oh, that part.
There it is, Bruce.
Dun, 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 dun. I was like, Bruce, you're the fucking man, bro. Because I was trying to figure out what part that when he was going, and I'm like, what part is that? And I'm like, oh, that's the like main drive in the fucking song of that. Dun, 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 dun.
That's the part you don't really notice until someone shows it to you, right?
Just to think it was that he did it. Maybe I thought maybe the guy who made the beat was a dun, 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 dun. You know what I mean? Thinking maybe it was just a button push. Dun, 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 dun. Like, no, that was a oh. And I think Dr. Dre was one of the ones that said it the best in the interview when they were asking him. They were like, damn, Dre, why do your beats sound so like you have such good boom to him? And it's like, what is it, about your beats? And he was like, one of the key, he said, I ain't tell all the secrets. He said, but the key thing to those sounds are using live instruments, man.
Yeah, real instruments. Yeah,
using real instruments to get those samples from. It's like, that's the only way. You need live instruments to get that natural bass. And you know what I'm saying? He goes, my bass came from natural basses. You know what I'm saying? From actual pull motherfuckers in the studio playing boom, 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 boom. Like, I got it sampled it. Now he locks it in the box and he can use it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the key.
Yeah.
And that violin, man, I think really made that song with that dun, 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 dun. It kind of controlled the rhythm all together, man, because they're the guys who made it. And it's funny though, because it was like when he first heard it, and he was like,
it's not mine anymore.
Yeah, I don't really, he said it don't even sound like my beat, man. And but I'm cool with change. And I thought like, that nigga lying. I'm pretty sure he bitched about it. Yo, man, that fucked up, man. We trying to change my shit, man.
I think just like everybody, you're cool with it once it works. Because if that shit didn't work, then you would be like, man, see, you fucked it up. I had all that other shit. If we just kept it like it was, it would have been fine.
Bruce probably was cheaper than that fucking payout for that, right?
True.
You know what I'm saying? Bruce is like, I'm going to get mine, so I ain't going to charge it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm out here doing violins all over the place. But his whole demeanor was great. Like, Bruce Dukoff was like, he's just, a violinist. He's got he talks very like he sounds like a violinist should, you know what I'm saying? Like, very classical, and they want me to do the song for Def Jam contacts me. He's like, he's holding his violin. He's like, yeah, you're doing a Thong song, bro. Like,
because even Bruce was saying when he's just like, dumps like a truck. What are you talking about, guys? That was the best.
Like, come on, what does that mean? So Cisco had to explain that dumps like a truck. It wasn't talking about shit, girls shitting, which, as a kid, that's probably where most people were like, dumps like a truck. Like, she's dumping like a truck. He said, no, I meant like beep, beep, backing everything up, dump like a dump truck. It's like, I got it, but yeah.
You thought about that afterwards. Cool.
Because you had to, because they were shitting on you like, literally dumps like a truck, dies like what?
And with those certain producers, what they were saying too is usually they were full service producers where they would make the beat and write the lyrics and do everything else with it. So they said it was stepping out of their comfort zone.
And that's another thing they didn't really dwell into, but you could tell that there was a lot of friction probably behind really making it because of that. You know what I mean? It's like, Cisco came and was like, yo, I want to, they're like, whoa. Like, you know, they're we're hands on with our shit. Hold on, nigga, you got all these ideas.
Mm-hmm. You're opening up my fridge right now. You know what I'm saying? I told you I was going to cook you something, and now you're in my fridge.
With a stick of butter, like, yo, I can use this? Yo, how you going to grab it already and then ask you if I can use it? Like, you already got it in your hand, motherfucker.
You got the cap off, and it's at your lips asking if you could have a drink.
Yo, I mean, a sip? Yo, that used to be the joke back in the day. Like, motherfuckers have their hands fucking 3/4 down your bag of chips. Yo, I can get some chips?
Yep.
Nigga, your hand's in the bag
already there.
What the fuck? It's either going to be like, smack your hand or just go ahead. You already there.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck?
And another thing about the documentary, with hindsight being 2020, so okay, they make this song, which was funny too. The record label did not release Thong Song as the first single. They went with something else.
Let Go or something.
Yeah, something that didn't work. And so then 2-3 weeks into promotion, they just go, pull the trigger, we're going Thong Song.
Right, due to the DJs.
Yep.
They said the DJs, when they were getting albums, like, yo,
this is the one.
We're not playing the other shit.
Yep.
Yo, we just play the open. This is the lead single. Like, nigga, no. Look at the crowd. Look, the Thong Song is the one, man. Come on, man. You. And then they were like, okay, we fucked up. All right, yeah, no, wait, we can save this. Drop it.
And
you know
Cisco said that the lyrics came from real life about how he was basically writing out the story about being on a date with a woman of, ooh, that girl so scandalous, and you know another man couldn't handle it. Talking about, oh shit, she was dressed crazy, man, and I'm feeling cocky today where, yo, I know no but man, I'm the one that'll get this down here. Right. Then he was saying another one of his boys came in talking about he was on a date and some girl gave him up that thong.
Right.
And he was like, yo.
He said, came and said, yo, I had a girl, I was with a chick last night, and guess what she gave me? He said, what?
He said, gather round.
Gather round. Guess what she gave me? He goes, well, he said, that thong. And, and they all laughed. And he's like, yo, I should put, then he was singing, he's like, I should put that in the song. And they're like, yeah, that's crazy. Don't do that. And he goes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And he added that part, and when he was going to that Thong Song, that part, that's when he said he was doing shit people weren't doing, where he was raising things, and it was, you think about it, when you listen, right, when you listen to that song, it got really climactic at that point. It was true. He's like, yo, it got really almost sexual, where it's like, you know, and it's like, it did kind of take that
it went up.
It did. It's like, oh, you get it, man. And he starts screaming and shit. It's like, okay.
Yeah, Cisco, he does have a great scream sing, just like Casey and JoJo, just like some female singers as well, to where you're like, you just sound good when you're yelling. You're not even singing at this point. Exactly. Like, you just sound good while yelling. And then Cisco also had a lot of problems with the vocal, unfortunately, because what they did, they circumvented the Beatles by, hey, we're going to have this brother over here play it. Like we said, Eleanor Rigby, you can't sample that, but you can have a cat play the violin. But you cannot go living la vida loca because someone already did that, brother. You know what I'm saying?
And it was only that one little part. It wasn't even a main drive of that. It wasn't like he kept saying it, but it was part of the hook. She was living la vida loca.
Yeah, maybe part of the
jump like a jump.
Yeah, it was like the bridge right before the hook, right?
Yeah. And it was like, but I'm like, yeah, you couldn't even say, because if he said it in the same cadence as Ricky Martin, living la vida loca.
Yeah.
You know, so it lawsuits came. And like you said before when we were talking, it's like, yeah, you know, that's because it was a hit. That's not a hit. They's like, what are we going to sue him for?
Exactly. If that didn't blow like it blew, then what are you going to do? You're not going to go after somebody for something that didn't go like that.
When double wood, we want in.
And now here's where the finger pointing comes in the documentary, which is funny because Cisco,
that was great. Yep.
Cisco didn't really even talk about it too much, but everybody else in it was like, yo, we told him you're not going to be able to do that shit. And it's like,
yeah, the one with the glasses, Kevin, when he was like, he said, and I was thinking back on it, because the way he said it, he was like, you know, and I think, you know, they said that, and I was like, and I was thinking back when I told him, like, yo, sis, that living, make sure you get that clear. You might get that clear. And he said that, he told him, and Cisco told him, it ain't nothing but a phone call. He's close with the guy who wrote the song. You know what I mean? So
And then apparently never made the phone
Never
call.
made the phone call.
And then the Cisco's manager had the best thing about, well, no one ever told me to click. Bro, you guys didn't listen to this song. You're not in the business,
Right.
and you heard him say "Living La Vida Loca."
Nobody around your camp was like, yo, that's kind of like Ricky Martin shit right there, right? Living La Vida Loca. Like Ricky Martin. Like nobody said that reference to be like, ooh, maybe we should watch. Like we're not talking a long time ago. We talking about this is in the 90s and copyright infringement, all that shit was going down, man. You know what I'm saying?
Heavy.
Like you couldn't just do shit like that. Ricky Martin was up in his, battling with his things. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna come out or not. What the fuck? They're gonna accept me. And I got hits and shit. And then all of a sudden, niggas taking my shit, making hits on my shit.
And see, what they could have done too is if they actually did it how they were supposed to, it might have went with a lower number, because you might have been able to go, hey man, we're trying to clear this song for Cisco. He's doing a solo album. He said "Living La Vida." That number might have been way different, because back then in the day, no, Cisco wasn't a nobody, but he wasn't the person where you were just like, oh, Cisco's about to blow doing
Right.
it. It would
Right.
They weren't expecting it to do what it did,
No, it took a whole that launched his solo career.
Oh, yeah.
That was the one for him. Like,
That's the reason why he got on. All right, if Thong Song doesn't happen, does he get on What These Bitches Want from a, you know what I mean?
Right.
Somebody let me know.
Right,
Come on,
with
is
the
he really?
Nah.
So I'm fucking with Drew Hill. Like, does that happen without Thong Song? I don't know.
Nope. He not getting none of that. You know what's crazy though? Because they weren't in the same room when they interviewed them. They asked them, but out of that, when they were talking, the only one really smiling about the whole thing was Cisco. You know what I mean? Like,
well, all the other cats, you heard them talk about and then our publishing checks started
shrinking.
But when they asked Cisco, he goes, "No, everyone,
everybody, we took care of everybody. Everybody was good." Yeah,
but let the other cats tell it. They're like, no, the La Vida Loca guys, they own more of it than anybody else. So,
it's like, first Bruce, now Ricky. Who else we gonna fucking cut in? Who else we gotta cut in this motherfucker, man?
Exactly. That's when it starts getting, wiry.
Because they didn't. He had his own little. He was ready to pay for his little payout for that sample he used, and it's like,
exactly.
He's like, no, I'm going to hire a guy that we're going to cut in, because now he's going to get a part of the song because he's going to play the violin.
Yeah, man.
Bruce wasn't in the video though, huh?
Bruce should have been in the video, man.
I want to say there was a violinist in that video, but it probably was an imposter. Now that I think about it wasn't.
They probably
Bruce.
had somebody playing the part.
Probably a hot chick in a thong. I'm not sure. I gotta go back and watch.
And that video was groundbreaking in the days, because it was more of like a BET uncut video where there was a whole lot of cheeks,
a lot of butt cheeks.
a
Couldn't
whole
show
lot
that
of
back
stuff.
then. Yeah, it wasn't. The thong is like, he said that there were a lot of regulations that they said they couldn't actually show the thong. So if it's funny when they show clips of it, like, we're gonna go back and watch the video, but in the clips it's like they didn't really show what a thong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, and they had a lot of side shots. So even when they were laying on the bed, it's like, that's not a thong. Those are just like panties, like regular bikinis.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It wasn't a thong. Is like, no, it's up there.
Well, yeah, because it was seen. Then it seemed to be a difference between, there was the thong, but then there was also the string bikini. That there was, not all thongs are created equal, I think is what we're trying to say here.
Right.
So they used more of the wider thongs to bypass.
The one that just gives a slight wedge at the bottom. Not the one that's all up in the crease.
But
so to say.
Also, Cisco was doing, and that's when there were big budget videos. Like, bro, he was on wires and shit, pretending to run across people, and it was,
He enjoyed that one.
And like you said, we're going to be reacting to that video on our channel, so keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
Man, but I didn't expect the Thong Song to be such a journey of a story, and you just think of that was a pre-made pop song,
right? I don't remember the lawsuit. Like I said, I was a lot younger then too. So,
but that was also when that stuff wasn't covered or paid attention to. Like, that's behind the scenes shit back in the day.
If you got your Source magazine or something, you know what I'm saying, you might have read the article.
Yeah,
but other than that, or MTV thing, they talked about it real quick, but it wasn't as like now, man. It's like you're getting influence. It's coming like that. Every second it's happening. You're getting it. You're getting updates of what the trial's like, what's going on, who tweeted what. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Back then it was just like, no, It happened, and now it falls into the shadows until they go back to court or something. You know what I'm saying?
And these days, people care more about the business side of music. Like back in the day, no one gave a fuck about business in the music. If you were just a fan, nowadays you see stuff and you notice like, oh shit, he's signed to him. So what does he get paid off of him? And there's
now we have more access to information. So now we feel as though we're agents and shit. Like nigga, go back to being a listener, man.
Yep. But yeah, like you said, people are busier into the behind the scenes stuff nowadays. When back then it was just, oh my God, this is some wild shit. That was it.
This is there, and that was one of the biggest things somebody had told me one time. It's just nowadays there's more. It's not even so much of how talented that person is. It's just the access you can have to them.
Yeah,
who's more interesting to you behind the scenes, and you totally blank out on if their music is better than somebody else or how good it really is because you're just wrapped up in who they are and not what they're giving you. You know,
it's interesting that untouchable shit used to be what people wanted. Like you can't have access to what George Clooney is eating today. You get like Brad Pitt's not taking a selfie of his workout today. Old school movie stars like that. Like I don't think Denzel's on the gram. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that like old untouchable shit used to be the thing of the mystery of it and the wonderment of, oh my God, because I don't know what is behind the curtain. And now
it's
the curtain's jerked.
It's just everything's there, and it kind of takes away from the entertainment side, I think, in a sense sometimes. It's because, the element, I remember being younger, man, and the element of, like, getting that rare footage of, like, yo, he did some regular shit. Shit we see all the time right now. When we were younger, when we seen it once, it was a spectacle, you know what I'm saying? Because it was rare.
That's that old school, footage. They're just like us. You know, it's that type of shit.
Now it's just like, oh, they're all just like us. It becomes this point, it's like, okay, I'm going to sit around and you watch, people that are maybe already successful and millionaires and how they're doing things. And either you're a fan of it or you're just sitting home getting jealous, It's like, yeah. You know what I mean? At some point, but it's like, yeah.
There's definitely another aspect of it to a different way to read and pronounce. Dude, they're just like us. We could do it. You know what I mean? It's that instead of, oh my God, they're just like us. Look how cool it is. Now it's, yo, they're just like us, man.
It's almost like people aren't cool with or adapt to actually just being okay with just following them. You know what I mean? Like just being a listener and a fan of that person and being okay with that. Now you got to be a spokesman. You got to be the promoter. You got to be their fucking bodyguard. You know what I mean? They're online like fucking, who's talking about my fucking favorite today? You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of energy, man. Where to the point where you become obsessed where you're not even into the music. You're so into the person and who they are. Like, Tekashi has that kind of shit where people are so big into Tekashi 6ix9ine that you forget he even makes music. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're like, I forgot he even makes music. He's entertaining to act like an asshole, online and talking shit, trolling or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
music is almost a byproduct of the entertainer now.
Right. Right.
Yeah, all right, let's shut this shit down because that shit was dope.
That was dope. That's a t-shirt, nigga.
No, but I'm trying to think, man. Anything more about the Thong song? It was cool to see a documentary on it because, like I said, you back in the day you just thought like, oh, it's just a pop song that probably somebody wrote and it doesn't matter about, but there was more to the story, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, I like the makeup of songs. Like I said, once again, we didn't have access back then, so we didn't know shit like that. So now, kind of rehashing is like, oh, that what happened back then? Is a pretty dope experience. You know what I mean? So for those that are from that bracket that know that song, go back and check it. And if you don't, look into it, man. It almost makes me want to look into a Dru Hill documentary because I feel like they have one.
It could be probably VH1 behind the music.
I think Cisco had one of his own behind the music. I think either all about Cisco or all about Dru Hill.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
But hey, we'll leave a link to the documentary. It's a quick documentary. It's less than 20 minutes. Like literally our coverage of the documentary is longer than the documentary. So if you want to check it out, I'll put a link down below to that Vice doc. Man, Cisco dumps like a truck. What? Thighs like what?
And he was one of the first ones to do the freaky color hair shit.
Yeah.
I mean.
The silver bullet.
There was the platinum bullet, man. He was like 5'1", little dude. But I was like, for me, it was just, I was more, I guess, thrown back at how young that he really was. I had no idea he was fucking 17.
Young buck.
Because, he looked, one of the 17-year-olds, like, he's short, but he looks older. You know what I mean? He looked like he was in his 20s somewhere,
I think that's the Keebler Elf status. Is that they're younger, but they're older, older, but they look small younger. Hands, but strong. That type of joint.
It's just everything.
But hey, till next time, man. We'll watch some wild shit and we'll cover some wild shit next time. That's the only promise we could bring.
It's promises. They're all promises.
Mm-hmm.
We love you, people. At the end of the day,
hey, it's the beginning of the night.
you niggas are special to us in a really Cisco kind of way. Mm-hmm. Thong, thong.
Dumps like a truck.
Watermelon versus Pumpkin.